Hi class, it's Bill back with another video in our first week of class. Today we are reviewing object-oriented programming basics. We are continuing the little project that we started drawing the designs for in the last videos. So now we're going to code these up, and we're also going to learn a little bit about IntelliJ and how to make new projects there, because that world is a little bit more complicated than it was with a simpler IDE. So let's get started. I will bring up IntelliJ, and then I will, click on projects, and I will say new project. The first thing that you're going to be asked is, what version of the SDK do you want to use? Some IDEs have a fixed version that they work with. BlueJ did this, so you never had to choose this stuff. So you can choose from any version that you'd like to of the JDK, that's the Java Development Kit. In our case, you can choose whatever is newest, and you may also be asked whether you want to download these things. So if you haven't downloaded them before, notice I've got a few here. So it may, you may also do download JDK and go find a newer one. In my case, I think I have a pretty good new one. I have 16.02. That's probably fine. You can do anything fairly modern. I would say 14 or after I would recommend for what we need, but why not use the latest one? So I'll do OpenJDK 16.0.02. So you do that, and then you're going to click Next. Again, if you don't have this thing, you may be prompted, hey, do you want to download it? And if so, where do you want it? You can take the defaults and just let it download these things. The next thing is, do you want to use some sort of template? And our answer is no. We don't have any particular template that we use for our stuff, so we can say Next here. Now, this is an important one, and that is, where do you want your project to go? So the first thing I do is choose the location, right? I'm going to click ... I'm going to go pick something innocuous, like probably I'm going to go to my desktop and just start it there for now and say OK. And then notice what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to put a backslash, and then I'm going to type the name of the folder, right? I'm naming now the folder in which the project resides. Similar to most IDEs, you're not really talking about individual files. You're talking about an entire project, which is bigger than that. So what you're doing here is naming the folder, and then all of the project stuff is going to go inside that folder. So when I do that, notice that it also has filled in the project name, and it gives you a bunch of other details down here that you don't have to worry about because it's all going to be defaulted. So this is important. Know where you're going to put your work, and then give it the folder name, and it will automatically create the folder, as you're going to see in a moment. So when I say finish, it's going to say, hey, I don't have that folder. I don't see it there. So is it okay if I'm going to create it? And I say yes, go ahead and create it. So that will go to your place that you selected it. In our case, here's my desktop, and here is my folder. You'll notice that what you have in that folder right now, nothing very exciting. You have this IML. That's actually the project settings. You can actually drag that to your on-screen IntelliJ link, and it will open this project. Or you can just drag the folder itself, the bank folder, to the IntelliJ shortcut, and it will open it. That's another quick shortcut. It will also have a source folder, and that source folder is where all your source code is going to go. That's all your Java files, right? So now we have that created, and we are now seeing this kind of view. So the thing that you'll notice here is that we don't have any source files right now, so that's something that we're going to want to remedy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click my source folder, right? I just right-clicked it, and then I said New, and then I'm going to choose Java class. And I'm going to start with bank account. That's the most basic class. Notice, as usual here with projects, you build them backwards. If you want to build the whole bank project, you first have to start with the bank account, because that's the most fundamental building block, right? So start backwards and build. In fact, I would recommend you're going to create the bank account class and then write the tests for the bank account class, and only then move on to the bank class, because then you know you're on solid ground with well-tested code, right? So that's just a tip for creation of what order to create the classes in. So now I'm going to say, hey, that's just a normal class. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to add that here, and you'll notice I have public class bank account. I'll do the same thing here. You notice that now if I click the little expander, there's my bank account class. I'll do do the same thing. I'll create the bank class just so we have kind of a complete little project. And now you'll see that you can have these two here. You can double click them to open them up. They will show up here. You can click the little divider, drag the divider so that you can have a little more rooms, more screen real estate for coding. Does that make sense to you? Hopefully it will. So let's see, is there anything else that I want to point out to you right now? I guess let's see, again, how do we get back to this? So let's say that I close this project and then I want to reopen it. So you may have it in your most recently used list, right? So here it's already in my MRU, so you can just click it there. As I mentioned though, you can also drag this folder and drop it anywhere in the IDE sort of canvas area, and that will reopen it. So that is another good way to do it. Or you can do open. If you do that, let's close it and make sure you understand what's going on here. If you go to open something directly, right? If you say open, remember that what you're pointing at here is not source files, you're pointing at folder. So if I go to the desktop, the thing that I would open is bank. Don't navigate into here, right? Don't drop this down and try to go inside there. The folder is the project, right? So I would just click on bank and I would say okay, and then I would be back in exactly the same place that I was before. All right, so that is a way to get started with IntelliJ. Hopefully that makes sense. IntelliJ is going to provide a lot of help for us as we move along here. So we'll be taking advantage of all of those special little keystrokes and all of the goodies that IntelliJ will make our life easier as a coder. We will take advantage of all of those. All right, I think I'm going to stop the video here because that kind of gets us set up with the project, and we'll move forward next into coding the bank account.